healing. Happy Sunday Fun Day. Both of my pastors that I watched did not preach last week, so I'm going to do a Sunday Fun Day with Dr. Stephen Greer of Serious Disclosure this morning. Not that he's coming on my show or anything, but we'll discuss a video that he put out this week, and I'll go into it in a little more detail philosophically and spiritually so that we can get the parallels as to what's happening right now in the physical and the metaphysical, and then how that relates to what's happening in the spiritual, and us coming to this gnosis of what has been talked about through millions of years over the course of evolution, and is written throughout hundreds of thousands of years across the globe in different languages, hieroglyphics, etc. So we know that the evidence is there. We know that the data is there. And we're going to find that event horizon, that unification point of having balance between artificial intelligence or ancient artificial intelligence. You know, it all goes round and round. The intelligence that has been, is, and will be forever, right? God, the universe God. And then, but the metaphysical aspects of that, the elements, right? The waters in Genesis, we've talked about this a lot. And then you have the spirit, which is the spirit that hovered over the waters in Genesis. So you have this binary 1 and 0. There has to be 2 for there to be anything, because if there's just only 1, then there's no expression, there's no experience. And so that was the first separation, just like a cell, and we separate, and here we are. Where we are on the furthest parts of the universe, where we have defractalized and compartmentalized almost everything that we possibly can, including gender. Who would have thought that we would have been able to rip apart a biological gender of male and female? Who would have thunk it? But that's okay. We're going to come to the understanding that masculine and feminine have to do with energies, and then male and female have to do with the biological, and that it really all doesn't matter. But who you came on this earth to be is what you're supposed to experience in order to be in balance with the universe. So anyone who tries to jack with that is jacking with the balance of the universe, and there will be an action or a cause somewhere else in order to balance out your behavior. This goes for everything. It's so awesome. I write this in my book. Please get a copy. Let me grab it. Let me hold it up here. Quantum Christianity. This is the first book of 7. This book is called Christ Consciousness. This is going to talk about consciousness from a quantum standpoint, a neuroscience standpoint. Not in detail by any means, because there are tons of people who have written detailed books on the neuroscience behind what it means to be enlightened. And the data is there to now show, and the science is there to show someone's consciousness being expanded in some way. So that's the first book. The next book is going to be about the man we call Jesus. I'm excited about that one. It's not done yet. We'll get into the Word of God, divine DNA, and ancient civilizations is on the 4th book, archaeology and geography. Number 5, a God outside space-time, a quantum lens. That's going to go more into the time and space aspects of science. And then the 6th book is about aliens, extraterrestrials, UFO, and conspiracy. That is what I'm going to talk to you about today. That book is not until my 6th book, and I just published this one literally 1 year ago. So it's funny because I was thinking of doing that one next because I feel like it's pressing a little bit. But I'll wrap probably all that up into all of them just so that I can get out what I need to say. And then the last one is this little light of mine, the rainbow body. The rainbow body having to do with the Hopi Indians, the Buddhists, and Indian religions of understanding light through the prism turns to a rainbow, and the rainbow reference obviously God makes in the Bible, in the Old Testament and in the New Testament in Revelation, the throne room having a rainbow above his head. So anyway, so I decided to watch Dr. Stephen Greer's documentary. I'm gonna pull it up here just so you guys can see his hold on a second. Why am I getting all these things right now? Like, stop! Oh my gosh, that's annoying. Here, let me turn this off. Maybe that'll help. Let me just click out of that. No, nope, that did not help. Oh my god. Let's do this. That. And OMG. That is frustrating. All right, so let's go to YouTube and sign in. Hold on. Wow, that is really annoying. Turn off all notifications from Google Chrome. There we go. Because if not, I'll be getting all sorts of fun stuff. All right, let me get this one. I'm just going to show you his YouTube page so you guys can go over to it. Did I get my little thingy? No. Reset. Oh, there it is. Never mind. So that's the first thing I'll show you. And then I'll also show you a serious disclosure. Let's start there. How about that? Dr. Stephen Greer. All right. So let's close. All right. So some of you have heard me talk about this. I've done a couple. I've actually done one specific video on it. But I wanted to be able to why is it not coming? There we go. I wanted to kind of let me show and stream for a second. Show and stream. There we go. So this is Dr. Stephen Greer's website. Okay. He has put this out back in the late 90s. He's been doing the Serious Disclosure Project for over 20 years. And those 20 years, what he's trying to do is bring truth to the public as to the extraterrestrial contacts that we've had, specifically in the last, 70 to 80 years. And then obviously throughout time space, we have documentation of there being contact, and these cycles come and go just like everything else. We have seasons of everything. So we'll have seasons of ET contact, and even those specific ETs go through their cycles of being able to take part in humanity's evolution. All right. So a CE5 contact event is something that I am trying to move towards here on 144,000 acres of indigenous Catawba Nation land, the sacred land here. And so that is something that I am working towards and working on, as I am also working toward other truths and justice in the military industrial complex, as well as the entire political system. And so all of those things are important in order to have balance. So I am dipping my toe into all of them. To lead people toward truth, and truth is the highest form of love. There is no religion higher than truth. So this is Dr. Stephen Greer. Please head over to his website. You go over to his YouTube page. Let me see if that's got pulled up yet. No, because my phone needed to do two-step verification and it hasn't done so because my phone is terrible. So never mind then. We will not be able to go to that. But anyways, go there. He posted a video this week. He doesn't post too much, to be honest. A little more so now, but usually every 2-3 weeks he might put up a video, and it's usually a conversation with another colleague where he can discuss what he wants to discuss. So let's start, shall we? So let's see. Screen share window. All right. So this is a quote from Stephen Hawking. And I love Stephen Hawking because him, along with a handful of other quantum physicists, have been able to come up with a unified theory of everything. And I think we're all on the same page as to what that is. It looks a little bit different, but at the end of the day, there's only one universal truth. And so how painful it is for some folks who, he says here, I believe in alien life is quite common in the universe, although intelligent life is less so. Some say it has yet to appear on planet Earth, and that is the truth. And so we are a civilization, and you can study this, guys. Like, don't take my word for it. There's so much stuff out there. You just have to know what to look for. And so I'm going to tell you the things to look for. As I do in my book, I literally give you rabbit holes to go down because I can't tell you everything. You have to search for it yourself. Seeking, you will find. So our civilization is like an 8-year-old child. We think that we know what we're doing, and we have no idea. We are spoiled little brats who stomp our feet and can't play nice in the sandbox. And so the ET have been trying to help us continue to evolve and understand how to be civilized in order to move our consciousness as a collective of humanity, as a species, into these higher interstellar constructs that we can't be a part of until we have an understanding of the universe or God, right? Because the universe is God, and God is the universe. He is everything, was all, sees all, is all, that touches all. This is how, and thus the universe. And so the only difference is the question is what is God, or who is God, right? And so, and the answer is both, right? Because he's who, what, when, where, and why. He's all 5 senses in order to experience anything. So here we are. So that is from Stephen Hawking. Probably one of the, top dozen geniuses that have ever walked the face of the planet. And so you have that. So that's that. Let's do. So I wanted to talk about that, and we'll get into Dr. Stephen Greer. I wanted to just get up a couple of, memes first that we can just kind of look at together. And what I need to do is click out of those so that I know that I've already used them. Let's do, actually, this is a quote from Stephen Greer here. Okay, so this is from his website, On Universe, One People. I've been hashtagging that, God, for 2 years already. Real ET contact is universally enlightened, peaceful, and compassionate. I don't like the word compassionate because people don't understand. The understanding of words in language is so misconstrued on so many levels across the planet that, some people will resonate with this terminology, some people won't. But in any event, enlightenment sure needs to happen. And that just means a knowing and understanding, to own your light, right? To be in the light that you've been given, right? There is no need to fear ET, and I have a meme I could not find on my computer for some reason. I have to look for it again, but it said it was a Mary Clary that said, "Nothing is to be feared; everything is to be understood." And we do not need to prepare to conduct war against them, and that is the truth. The ET there's classified documents, or that have been unclassified now, where ETs have stepped in and stopped us from using weapons of mass destruction. They will continue, and I've said this before, they will continue to not allow, an extinction level event, an ELE, but we also have to learn our lessons and scrape our knees and fall down, just like any parent would do for their child. The universe, is doing for us, right? And so, as Christians, we always ask questions like, why is there pain and suffering? And we don't understand it. And you don't need to understand, because you'll get to heaven. And so that's not, the understanding is heaven, right? And so you do need to understand. And we're depending on if you look at your glass half empty or half full, you can be in a place of depression and fear because of the chaos that is going on the planet right now. Or you can look at it that you understand that after that chaos will be beautiful peace and harmony. And so how lucky are we to be able perhaps to see that? And it's up to us whether we will see that on so many different levels, dimensions, timelines, and all that fun stuff. So I wanted to do that. Wow. So let's do another one. Hold on. Let's open one first. How about that? So what else do I have? Let's get a Bible one up here for fun. Here we go. Some Christians. Show and stream. Remove. Okay, Ezekiel. The path of the righteous man is beset on all sides by the iniquities of the selfish and the tyranny of evil men. Blessed is he who in the name of charity and goodwill shepherds the weak through the valley of the darkness. So Jesus does that, right? He shepherds the weak through the valley of the darkness. He says, put it on me. I got it. You have freedom in me not to worry, right? And so you can be a sheep and he will lead you through the darkness. That's not the only way to be led through the darkness. And the light's coming anyway, and the light is the same for everyone. So anyway, for he is truly his brother's keeper and the finder of lost children. And I will strike down upon thee with great vengeance of furious anger those who attempt to poison and destroy my brothers. Ooh. Again, this is about perspective. You've got two distinct ends of polarity who look at each other like the enemy and who look at themselves as the hero. It's all about your perspective. A great show to watch is Money Heist on Netflix. If you take that philosophy of the art of war or the chess match or whatever the case may be, and you understand that who is the one doing the poisoning? Who is the one doing the destroying? And it's really a matter of perspective. And so once we are able to go round and round and we realize, oh shit, it's all necessary. And then we don't have to, bomb each other and all that fun stuff. Okay. So, those who attempt to poison and destroy my brothers, and you will know my name is the Lord when I lay my vengeance upon thee. So, have we been in the vengeance this whole time, or is the vengeance coming? And this is where, well, gosh, depending on what you resonate with will depend on whether or not your glass is half full or empty. And that's the beauty of the balance of the universe. So that's that. I'm flying through memes today because Let's do Plato. Love me some Plato. All right. Show and stream. The price good men pay for indifference is public affairs to be ruled by evil men. So when you don't have virtue, when you don't have ethics, and you don't have morals, and you don't stand up for what you believe in and play your role in reality or in society, evil men take over. And this is what we have. And I say evil in a sense that um, is power and control, or lies, right? And so people are going to lie to you. Government is going to lie to you. The media is going to lie to you because they can, because their richness depends on it. Their greed depends on it. And we'll go into detail with Dr. Stephen Griever in a second as to the two spectrums of greed and power and how they're both wrong. And this is where we're going to find our balance once we all wake up to both sides of the lies, right? And then once we can come to truth, then we can come to unity. We are not going to come to unity until there is truth. Period. End of discussion. Plato's my man, Plato's got some good quotes. I might have been him in another life. Who knows? Maybe I'm reincarnated Plato because I resonate with him big time. All right, so let's see what else we have. What else? Okay, so now we're talking about this. Okay, so here we go. Oh, this is so good. I love kids' movies because kids' movies, it's like they're rubbing it in your face what they're doing, and they put it in a movie to try and wake us up. Because they can't say it out loud, because then there's bad people who will murder them because they want to keep lying. And so this is from A Bug's Life. You let one ant stand up to us, and they all might stand up. Those puny little ants outnumber us 100 to 1. So when we talk about the elite, they are not powerful because they are outnumbered. They are powerful because they have the 99 in fear. They are powerful because they have the 99 brainwashed. They're powerful because they have the other 99 so busy fighting amongst themselves, divide and conquer, so busy slaving the system, stressed out, that they can't even look to do the right thing because they don't have the time, they don't have the money, and they don't have the will. They have those three things that you need, body, mind, and spirit. Though they take those three things away from you. And so when they take that away from you, you have no soul. When you have no soul, you can be manipulated and you can be controlled. And so I talked about V for Vendetta the other week too. Another great movie. V for Vendetta and A Bug's Life is the same movie. One's for kids and one's for adults. The same story. Wake up, church. Lord have mercy. Anyways, let's see what else we got. Oh, I love these. This is just fantastic. I would like to start getting rid of these as I open them, but I can't, so that's okay. All right, what else we got here? So that's A Bug's Life, and then let's see what else we have here. All right. Okay, so speaking of tyranny and one ant and this, that, and one falls out of line or whatever. This also happens in the church, okay? So fear is going to control you, your mind, then you're never going to be able to come to Christ consciousness, which was the point of our existence and the message of Christ and others before him and after him. So if your pastor or your religion teaches you not to question, then your religion is hiding something from you. And they might not be hiding something from you because it's deliberate. They just don't know themselves. And so this is where you have to be able to bridge science and spirit in order to have the answers, to help people come to the answer, right? We can still pastor people, and there are pastors who are fully awake and they are totally scamming the system, right? They understand what the truth is. They understand that God is within you, and that you don't need to listen to anyone else, or give money to the church, or be married to one person for your whole life. None of that Jesus preached. None of it's in the Bible. It's all the majority of Christianity is based on lies, literally. And so, other than the fact that Jesus was a man, he lived, he held Christ consciousness, he was in perfect balance. He wasn't perfect, because everybody has both masculine and feminine, and everybody has everything in them, right? Including Jesus. He just knew it, and everybody else didn't. And he used his life in order to give clues so people can come to the same understanding that he did. So if your religion is, if you have a pastor who's telling you, don't look here, don't look there, that's the devil, that doesn't even make sense, because everything comes from God. So how can that be? And so keep searching, keep seeking, keep raising your consciousness, keep expanding your mind, keep your heart is expanded, right? We already know you've opened your heart, right? That's for Jesus Christ. And that's where we need to get the science folks and the atheist folks to understand that even though you know the laws of the universe, we can get awake people, and I have this somewhere too, and we can get awake people to trust in Jesus Christ, right? Because really, if we all just lived in the moment, everything would be perfect. If everyone decided immediately today to live in the moment and to think peace at the same time, we would have it. And so, but why would we want that when people can take advantage of other people and have more? So this is where the liberals have it right, in a sense of their ideology. But what happens is that there's people who take advantage of them and twist it all, and then we have things like depopulation through vaccines. So you have to have love and logic. It can't be one or the other, or there will be destruction. This is coherence. This is balance. This is when we turn from a type 1 civilization to a type 2 civilization. These are, if you don't believe that there are type 2 different types of civilizations, there's actually 3 right now. I'm sure we've already third and fourth. But this is where we move from type 1, which takes millions and millions of years of evolution, to type 2, where we can move into this interstellar galactic universe and meet our ET family, who have been helping us for millions of years throughout time space, millions of years, right? Time dilation, all of that, it all goes round and round. Time is not linear. It doesn't go straight. Years are not years. It's like light years. None of it makes sense. We only make as much sense of it that we can on this earth, because it helps us have some sort of order, because then it would be complete chaos, right? And so this is where we want, order out of chaos. Where's that balance between the 1 and the 0, the water and the spirit, metaphysical, the celestial, and the things that we can see with the 5 senses, and all the other stuff on the other side of the veil. Gosh, it's so beautiful. Cool. So let's get rid of that one. This is fun, just doing a meme day. So let's before I keep, actually, let's do this one more, and then we'll get into Nikola Tesla, and then we'll be good. Okay. So according to evidence found, so evidence means we have data. We have skulls, we have jaws, we have all sorts of different features, looking at fibers of hair and all sorts of things, to know that we've had 21 human species existed in history, but mysteriously only one of them is now alive. So if you ever studied, if you haven't studied evolution from a standpoint of our cousin primates, then you need to. That is not the devil. That's facts. Those are data. That's science, and it is the language of God. So the quicker the understand, the quicker mind, and mind understands, then we can in perfect balance, harmony, quantum coherence in the universe. It's so easy. Okay, so so the one that lives right now, we are on Homo sapiens sapiens. Okay, so and if you go into the trees, and I talk about this too, 21 humans, and I said there was probably 12 or whatever. You know, this is over the course of hundreds of thousands of years, if not millions of years, where, you know, apes, you know, that was the first round. So if you watch Planet of the Apes, true story, okay? Every movie is a true story, just FYI. Somewhere in our subconscious, we make that because it happened. Anyway, so and then we have this natural progression from apes to early humans, cavemen, things like that. There's a catastrophe every 6,000 years. The ET grab who they're going to grab, they lay them back down, they seed them again, and they get better. So it's kind of like sifting through, right? You have, if you think of it like tea, where you dip the tea in, right? And then you take, once all the good stuff comes out, you take the bad stuff, the stuff that's not necessary, away, right? So all the good stuff goes into the water, it dissolves, it mixes in, and then the stuff that ain't gonna give you nothing gets thrown away. And then you have your tea, and then it happens again. And this is your box. So this is like your Freemasonry when you have the triangle, the box, and the circle. That's what everything is, right? So the circle represents the spirit. You have yin and yang, masculine, feminine. And you can, really, yin and yang is just duality. So you can put yin and yang to anything, philosophy, science, whatever. Okay, so you have your circle, then you have your box, which is going to be expression, experimentation, integration, transcendence. And then we go up to the next level, and then the next level, and the next level. So we play around with some stuff, we figure out what works, whatever, and then we move past it and we get rid of the things that don't serve us. And so this is where we're going. And then you have your triangle, which obviously is your pyramid of civilized order, right? Government, and economics, your military industrial complex, if you will, is your, and this is where you get the eye and the Illuminati and all that stuff. They understand the pyramid, but they don't understand the circle, and they don't understand the square. Or some people understand the square and they don't understand the circle. So everybody's got a little bit of everything, and that is body, mind, and spirit. Each of those geometrical shapes, and then we go into sacred geometry and looking at shapes, and it's just, when the Bible says to you that you can't fathom what God has in store from the beginning of time, like, you literally, it's endless. It never ends. As far as us being able to think, it will never end, but eventually we'll all come back to some place where we were before, because energy cannot be created or destroyed. It can only be transformed, and we'll keep recreating for ourselves for eternity. All right. So, I didn't even put that up, did I? Did that go up? Oh boy. I don't know. Let me see. I don't think I actually put that one up. Hold on. Did I click out of it? Well, anyway, I have to put that picture up. Hold on. I don't think I got it up, and I got to put it up because you can see all the different shapes of the heads. Hold on a second. And these are based, this is using science and technology to be able to show you from a skull what these people would have looked like. And so there's no, that's the devil or that's not true, because it is true, okay? God didn't create Adam and Eve the way that you think God created Adam and Eve is the thing. Genesis is true. How is it true? And how is the science true? They have to both be true. And so here we go. Let me get this up again, because I don't think I actually got it. Show and stream. Okay. So according to evidence found, at least 21 human species existed in history, but mysteriously only one of them is alive now. Now, only one of them was alive throughout each of these cycles, disaster cycles, right? And So you can see the different faces of the early humans, and you can see how they continue to progress. And then at some point, we had in our eon of time, in our time space, in our timeline, the grays are the ones who've had the last contact with us in order to help evolve our DNA to be where we are today. So at some point there was this natural evolution from primate to man, and then you had intervention where there was a huge jump in capability, and that was going to be the agriculture when humans began to use agriculture to civilize themselves, right? They started civilizations and stayed put instead of being wanderers or nomads having to move from place to place after they ate food to survive, right? So now we're moving from this survival mentality to a living mentality, and we're still doing that today. So I write this in my book too, or my website or something, where we've been taught that we have 2 strands of DNA, and that we have another 10 strands, but they're not active because they're from early in our evolution, and now really the science is showing that that's actually the complete opposite, that those are higher levels of DNA capability that have not yet been unlocked. And so so we have when I tell you we're like 8 years old, and I write this in the book too, like we've got a beautifully long way to go on this timeline. And you can know or not know, or be in the light or the darkness, or at the end of the day, it's all necessary. And what a beautiful thing it is to just continue to create and be better and better. All right. So Dr. Greer. Tesla free energy. That's the next one we're going to do, and then we're going to get into Dr. Greer. Okay, so people government especially, is still looking so in the moment. They can't bring themselves to a more bird's eye view of what the problems are, because they don't know. Everybody's got their own little secrets in each of their different corners, right? Of your Illuminati families, or whatever you want to call it. They each have their own secrets, and they think one knows more than the other, when really, if they just put all their secrets together, we would unlock the keys to the universe. So let me pull up Mr. Tesla here, if I can find him. There you are, Mr. Tesla. All right. Remove, show and stream. Okay, so peace can only come as a natural consequence. So it can't be artificial. Has to be natural evolution. Consequence of the universal enlightenment. And enlightenment, again, is to be with light, right? We are the light of the world. Shine your light. This is the light of mine. As Christians, we already believe that. Now, as Christians, it's time to know that. How can we put the science to what we know in the spirit? And this is where humanity has come to its final stages, hopefully, of being a type 1 civilization, as Dr. Greer talks about, moving toward a type 2. But ultimately, we have to have the will to get there. So they can only intervene in certain ways, blah, blah, blah. We'll get into that now. But Nikola Tesla is someone who was around in the late 1800s, early in the 1900s. He was a genius. He was said to have contact with ET civilizations, specifically ones from Venus, I want to say. I can't remember, but I'll have to look back in the book. But anyway, so everyone thought he was crazy, whatever. But what ended up happening was he died. He got killed. He got killed off. Whatever. They stole his secrets, the government, and so they were not released. And so a lot of his inventions, a lot of his work had to do with free energy, creating energy from the quantum vacuum field of space-time, which is free and available to everyone and anyone. Now, why would anyone not want this information to come out? And Dr. Greer talks a little bit about this. And it is because knowledge is power, right? And so if you can have an advantage over someone else, then you're going to take that advantage, right? Because survival of the fittest. That's the mentality of the survivalist. So again, we're moving out of this survive to live. We're right there. We've almost figured it out. We've got the agriculture figured out. Now we're going to figure out some other pieces. And so at this point, you have people who have struck oil in places like Texas. You have the Rothschilds coming in. You've got the Rockefellers coming in. You've got all this money and greed and power coming in, figuring out a way to do the same thing to the United States. So Nikola Tesla did indeed, and there's a great documentary. I want to say it's on the History Channel. It's a series on Nikola Tesla, and they go through some of his experiments. They go to the museum over in I think Hungary is where he's from originally, where they have some of his original work, and there's lots of stuff missing from his original work. And so why would people hide technology like that? That would change the world, and from a standpoint of happiness, right? And then also from destroying the planet. So, liberals talk about global warming and this, that, and the other, and they're right, but their way of getting there is wrong. It's manipulated. The other side is manipulating you to think that the answer is one way when it is not. You are being lied to. So this is where we have to figure out what the truth is. So global warming, the earth has been destroyed over and 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 over again. We have no idea what happened when and if and whatever. All we can see are the lines of sediments. We can know that it was due to water. We can know it was due to wind. We can know that it was due to earthquakes or volcanoes or those types of things. And we know that it's happened over and over, and the earth needs to regenerate herself. Now, with that said, that's because we keep destroying the planet. So we have to figure out a way to live in harmony with the planet as well. And this is, the liberals have that right, but they have the wrong answer. The answer is Nikola Tesla. The answer is free energy. Even solar is not the answer. Wind is not the answer. Those things are if you keep following them back, they're not providing any answers. Let's just put it that way, because the energy is still coming from, they're not providing enough resource for what the space that it takes up. Let's put it that way, because they still have to produce the solar panels, right? They have to use in a factory to make it, so they're still polluting the air. So it's the cycle that doesn't even make any sense. Free energy is available. The technology is there. The government knows about these technologies, and they have hidden it from us for 100 years. So now we have destroyed the planet for 100 extra years that she is really not capable of handling. And we are at the precipice right now where we're going to decide whether we'll destroy her again, and we'll have to, just keep sifting through that the strainer until we figure out how we can be a civilized society where we can move into the galactical civilizations or not. So, it's going to be up to us. But when I tell you that time is of the essence, time is of the essence. And evidence of that is in the Bible and many other scriptures. It actually talks about what that's going to be. And Christians believe that, and you want saved from that. But what you can also understand is that Nobody has to be saved physically from it, because if we just figure out how to live it in harmony with Mother Earth and Father God, the mind and the heart and the elements, and you see where I'm going with this, that then nothing has to be destroyed, and then we can just work towards having fun and creating an evolution, and having respect, and every to each their own, and experience their light however they want to, without it invading someone else's. Yay, beautifulness. So Dr. Greer, so he speaks a lot about Nikola Tesla as well. And this is where, for 20 years, these are the types of things that he's trying to disclose. Free energy, and this has to do with the Bushes, this has to do with 9/11, this has to do with overseas in Afghanistan, and this, that, and the other, and they don't want society to collapse, because they think that there's one group who thinks that if society collapses, that there's going to be chaos, but that's not the case, because society doesn't want society to be what it is. Like, we the people don't like the way that the world is working right now. We've figured it out. We just need to get the crazies out of the way. We need to bring the light to them, make the darkness conscious of itself, and so that they can understand that, okay, maybe this will work, right? Maybe this way will work. Maybe gray will work. And then this is where we move out of, the Church of Philadelphia into the wishy-washy church, if you will, wishy-washy. But then at the end, you understand that all those things are necessary, and you enter the kingdom of God as sit at the right hand. So he talks a lot about that. So that's the answer. I just literally just talked about all this. So what we don't want, the problem with that is the capitalists, right? So you have the conservative Republicans who are like, no, capitalism, yeah, but then they don't understand that people who are sick, like sociopaths, are using capitalism to perform a psychological brainwashing amongst the people, right? For greed and power. And so we don't want that. We want entrepreneurship, but we don't want people taking advantage of other people. That's your triangle. Your Illuminati. What else? You also, so from a psychological standpoint, there's also this panic of, well, if there's trillions and trillions of dollars into natural resources and energy, right? And billions of people employed by that, if suddenly these jobs are to go away and they lose their purpose in life, then now what happens? But their purpose shouldn't have been that in the first place, because God didn't create them to work for someone else, to be enslaved by someone else, right? Nobody needs to be enslaved by anyone. We all should be able to live on the planet without having to owe anybody anything, and still do it the way you want to do it. What else? Infinite. Oh yeah. So there's no radiation, no pollution with the free energy, obviously, and that's the problem with having it. And it said, so then he got into oil a lot specifically, and he did get into Russia and Ukraine. I don't know. I think he probably has a good firm, understanding of the military industrial complex from a standpoint of the alpha male of it. But there is a philosophical piece to it that we have to kind of thread through the science too, that puts it together a little bit better for a lot more people. So what they said is you can't bite the hand that feeds you. So if Russia's supplying oil or Iraq is supplying oil, whoever's supplying oil to whatever country, you can't piss them off, because then your country's screwed. But so the problem is not the relations between the countries. The problem is the sociopaths who are hiding the secrets, where all of that can just go away. And we wouldn't have that anymore, because we have free energy, and then we don't have to we don't destroy the planet, and B, we don't have wars over resources. So that literally kills two birds with one stone. Now, why won't the ET step in? So first of all, the ET has stepped in. And there's documentation if you watch any of Dr. Stephen Greer's movies, and if you watch Ancient Aliens on the History Channel and things like that, unclassified documents that you can get via Freedom of Information Act. Gosh, where was I going with that? Oh, the ET stepping in. So there is data and documents that show that the ET have stepped in a sense of that they have disabled nuclear weapons and bombs that that would have otherwise been detonated. And I talked before about how they won't let an extinction level event happen because the planet herself, that's too important. A great movie to watch on that is going to be Keanu Reeves, where she says, "What are you doing on my planet?" And he says, "Your planet. You guys are borrowing it. Like you're here for a short fraction of time in eternalness, and the planet is more important than your species. And so if we're going to destroy it, then we're going to take you out." And so, again, that's kind of where we're at right now. She's either going to get rid of us or they're going to have to get rid of us if we can't figure this out for ourselves. And again, that just means that another cycle of humanity we would go into without in the same maturity level, right? We didn't pass third grade, so we got to repeat the third grade kind of thing. So they have intervened and they will intervene because obviously they can't let that happen because it cosmically it would cause way too much waves, right? Because for every action there's an opposite and opposing reaction. So the Earth is way too important. Gaia is too important. The Earth is the reality. Gaia is the planet right now. And so there's definitely video out there where you're seeing UFO over in Ukraine and things like that. They are not going to intervene because then they will use it to their plan of a cosmic hoax. And hey, Mama. Hi. I'm still on. You want to say hi real fast, and then here, come here. Cause this way we can talk. Mommy's talking about our ET friends and how they want to help us, but we have to figure some things out on our own first, right? And so, what do you think about that?
Like,
do you think they want to help us?
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you think that we'll get to meet them soon?
Maybe. I don't know yet.
I don't know yet either. But who's got the whole world in his hands?
Jesus.
God.
God.
Yep.
I get God and Jesus confused.
Yeah, I know, but that's just because you're 7. I mean 8. But anyways, Mommy's gonna finish, and then you can come back, okay? I'll let you know. Go ahead, go Mommy's bedroom. Thank you, baby girl. I talk to my kids open and honest about everything because I don't want them to be fearful. And that the government and mainstream media is going to spin this so that it is negative, so that they can keep us in fear and that we're under attack. And here's World War III, right? No, it's all lies. It's all propaganda. It's a way to control the masses. So if they were to intervene on one side or the other or whatever, it would just be spun. And so that's why, and that we have to learn this lesson, right? They've helped all they can, without making the decision for us. It has to be free will, as every, collective humanity on this planet right now. And we will get there. So one way or another, so at some point that will happen. because what comes up must come down. What else did we talk about? So I think that was all I had, actually. Oh, was that my last page? Whoopsies. Hold on. I didn't even start from the beginning. Okay. War is fake. So he also talked about that, how the whole Saddam Hussein thing and Osama bin Laden. Nothing is as it seems. If you create an enemy, if you create a villain, you have to create a hero. And this gets the people focused on what else is going on rather than what's going on. Global Initiative for Peace, of course, and that has to happen two ways: within the five senses, and then also with behind the veil, sixth sense and more, meditation, pineal gland, third eye, that type of thing. Watch Space Force. So Space Force is great because it has two elements. Kind of, you see the duality of the same event from two different perspectives, from science and from military. And they don't have anything spiritual in it except this one chick that comes in, which I thought was funny. But you should watch it, and it'll help you get a better understanding of the reality of the silliness that's going on. What else do I have in here? And then I'm going to wrap this up here. I hate going over geopolitical solutions, central oil and gas, Trump self-sufficient. So Trump had us self-sufficient on our own oil. Our gas prices went down great. Our gas prices are astronomical now. All of it is crap. We need free energy. It's all bullshit. We're going to destroy ourselves if we keep taking oil out of the ground. Period. End of discussion. Free energy. Tesla 369. All right. What else? UFO technology. Yes, those are those technologies. Again, this is 0 point, and then also a whole bunch of other stuff, which we've already been there, done that. There's private organizations and governments all around the world who've the things that you couldn't even fathom, the things that we're already doing. Whatever you think's going on in in these sci-fi movies is going on in real life. Humanity depends on it. Like I said, global warming, we got to think bigger than that. It's not about global warming. It's way bigger than that. So there's a physical war, right? Military, and then you have a psyop war. You have both of these things going on. And the majority of the people are now seeing that it's really just a bunch of sociopaths who have been fighting this battle of their own trauma for, eons. And we need to just get rid of all that, and we can have everything else that we want without there being war and destruction. And without there being lies. There can't be war and destruction, and there can't be lies. If you want unity, we have to have truth. And that is the balance, both sides. Republican, Democrat, liberal, conservative, truth, unity. That's it. That's all we're going to be able to agree on. So let's just agree on it. What else? This is what I talked about. Why the ETers are not stepping in. I already said that. They'll portray them as invaders. So yeah, please go to Dr. Greer's YouTube page and watch some of his videos. He's got the documentaries up there. They're also available on Amazon Prime, I want to say. You can put in, there's a couple of them. There's Unacknowledged is his first one. I want to say CE5 is his second one. Cosmic Hoax is the third one, and then he has a fourth one here coming out soon. So there's tons of great information on there. There's nothing to be afraid of except the 8-year-old trauma-filled, unhealed sociopaths that are trying to destroy the world. we are many. We are many. Out of one, there are many, right? And so that's the other thing. So, Republicans say, oh, it says in God we trust. No, it actually said before in God we trust, and they took it away again. It was in Latin, which meant out of the one there are many, and that just means that out of God, the totality, the Lord, Yahweh, whatever you want to call him, the universe, that we all come from that same source. And so that's where we need to understand, and I think that has to be first before we can get into the specifics about Jesus Christ and who he was and what his purpose was, and that will be down the road where we'll really be able to feel at ease enough to be able to look through those doors, because most Christians, most conservative Christians anyways, who were raised conservative, they can't look through those doors because we've been fear-mongered, in that legalistic way. And then vice versa, you have, these evangelical Christians or newer Christians who really have no basis of the Bible whatsoever. They're motivational Christians, right? And they don't understand some of the deeper esoteric, occult, mystical. I mean, that you dig into when you get into etymology of language and things like that. So, again, all of it's important. All of it is necessary. But in order to get to peace, we have to figure out what is agreeable, and agreeable is unity and truth, and both sides are going to have to get it in order, in order for us to reach maturity where we can move into a different type of civilization out of the triangle. That's it. That's all I got for you, folks. Enjoy your day. Balance.